The first signs that something wasn't right came quietly. Like a whisper no one paid much attention to at first. Park Eun-bin, the ever-composed and radiant actress who had just months ago walked down the aisle in a dazzling gown, was seen in a backstage corner, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. The makeup artist, hovering nearby, hesitated to ask. But when someone mentioned Rowoon's name, her face faltered for just a second too long. A colleague's quick attempt to lighten the mood failed, and the small, almost invisible crack in her smile was enough to send the internet into overdrive. Within hours, the clip had gone viral. Fans dissected every frame, slowing it down, analyzing the way she looked away from the camera, the tremble in her lips. What happened became the burning question, plastered across social media feeds, entertainment forums, and late-night talk shows. The hashtag #ZoonBin tears and where is Rowoon climbed into the top trending topics worldwide. It hadn't even been a year since their wedding, a wedding that many had called the modern fairy tale of the Korean entertainment industry. The union of Park Eun-bin, beloved for her graceful poise and versatile acting, and Rowoon, the towering heartthrob whose smile had melted hearts across Asia, was seen as something too perfect to falter. On their wedding day, the world watched them exchange vows under a canopy of white blossoms, their fingers intertwined, their voices steady as they promised to support each other's dreams no matter what. But dreams, in their glittering perfection, rarely come without cost. Behind the scenes, life for the newlyweds had shifted almost immediately. Park Eun-bin had been offered the leading role in Crown of the Moon, a lavish historical drama set to be one of the biggest productions of the decade. It was the kind of project any actress would kill for. One that demanded her complete commitment, dawn to midnight shoots in remote mountain locations, grueling sword fight rehearsals, endless fittings for elaborate costumes. Rowoon, meanwhile, had signed on to Shadow Strike, an action-packed thriller that promised to expand his acting range and solidify his status as a leading man beyond romance dramas. His schedule was even more brutal, involving weeks of training in martial arts, physically demanding stunts, and long stretches of filming abroad in cities scattered across multiple time zones. What started as a bittersweet reality, knowing they'd see less of each other for a while, soon became a grinding ache. The video calls that once filled their nights grew shorter and less frequent. Time differences meant that when she was winding down from a day's shoot, he was just stepping onto set, adrenaline high and mind occupied. Sometimes, their only communication was a single text sent in passing, "Good luck today. Miss you." Then came the Blue Star Awards night. Rowoon appeared on stage to present an award, dressed in a perfectly tailored black suit, his hair styled immaculately, his trademark smile still in place. It was something different. His eyes, usually bright and easy, looked tired. Under the sharp lights, the faint shadows beneath them were impossible to miss. Observers noticed he wasn't wearing his wedding band. Might have been an oversight, a prop master's request, or simply a habit, but to the online world, it was a red flag. The screenshot spread like wildfire, paired with captions like "Trouble in Paradise" and "Where's the ring, Rowoon?" Entertainment tabloids pounced. Famous industry insiders began whispering to reporters that the couple's relationship was strained, that Park Eun-bin was struggling to keep in touch with her husband. The physical distance between them had turned into something more emotional. No official statements came from their respective agencies. That silence only fueled speculation. For Eun-bin, the whispers were impossible to ignore. Time she scrolled through her phone, a headline with her name and Rowoon's would pop up, the truth into something unrecognizable. Yet she had no energy to fight it. Between the bone-chilling cold of the mountaintop set, the weight of the heavy handbag she wore, and the relentless pace of filming, she was already at her physical and emotional limit. Breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday evening. Had been filming a particularly intense scene for Crown of the Moon, one that demanded her to stand in the rain, delivering lines through chattering teeth. Hours into the shoot, I got a text from Rowoon, "They've extended the overseas shoot 3 more weeks. I'm so sorry." The words blurred on the screen as tears welled in her eyes. She knew he hated delivering news like this as much as she hated hearing it. But in that moment, the reality hit her harder than ever. She wouldn't see him for nearly 2 months. Her co-star noticed her retreating to a quiet corner between takes, her shoulders shaking slightly. Tried to compose herself when the makeup artist approached. brushing away the tears and forcing a smile. Camera from a behind-the-scenes team, always lurking for candid moments. That split second where the mask slipped. That was the clip the internet saw. Stripped of context. Turned into an emblem of heartbreak. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Rowoon was fighting his own battles. The action scenes were relentless, leaving him with bruised ribs and sore muscles. The director demanded take after take, pushing him to the edge of exhaustion. He wanted to call her, to hear her voice. But by the time he rapped, it was deep into the night in Korea. Draft long messages, trying to express how much he missed her. Only it felt even in a crowd. But he always hesitated before pressing send. Would telling her make her feel comforted, or just more burdened? He found solace in small, private rituals. Before bed, would scroll through photos from their wedding, pausing at the one where she laughed with her eyes closed. Toward him. He kept that picture as his phone's lock screen. A quiet reminder of why all the sacrifice was worth it. Their friends and managers began to notice the toll this separation was taking. One mutual friend reached out to both, urging them to carve out even a day to see each other. You have to protect this before the work swallows you. And warned. Managers discussed possible schedule adjustments. But big-budget productions don't bend easily. There were too many moving parts. Much money at stake. Then, one crisp autumn morning, something shifted. Rowoon wrapped a critical sequence earlier than expected. Instead of using the free day to rest, he booked the first flight back to Seoul, clutching a bouquet of her favorite lilies the entire journey. He didn't tell her he was coming. On set, Bin was filming a lighter scene. Her hair loose for once. A faint smile playing on her lips as she recited lines. And then, over the chatter of crew members, heard someone call her name in a voice she knew better than her own. She turned, eyes wide. And there he was, tall. Some despite the fatigue etched into his face. Holding those lilies like they were the only flowers in the world. And to him without thinking. The hem of her costume sweeping across the set floor. Cameras and phones lifted instantly, capturing the moment she leapt into his arms, burying her face in his shoulder. It was a kiss. Long and unguarded. That broke the internet in less than an hour. Hashtags like reunion kiss and Bin Woo love story trended globally, drowning out the negativity that had plagued them for weeks. Later, in a joint interview, they sat side by side, fingers entwined. Not easy, Rowoon admitted, looking at her with a softness that needed no further explanation. Choose each other every single day, Bin nodded. Her smile more relaxed than it had been in months. Love doesn't mean it's perfect. It means we're willing to keep going, together. Just like that, the story shifted. The same public that had speculated about their downfall now celebrated their resilience. The truth was never about scandal or betrayal. About two people navigating the brutal reality of loving each other in the glare of the spotlight. Holding on to what mattered most. Even when the world was ready to believe the worst.